Hello， 大家好，欢迎来到巴比特直播间，我是主持人小喵。今天我们非常有幸邀请到了我们俄罗斯项目 DISCIPLINA 的 CEO Ilya 欢迎我们的帅气的 CEO 啊。首先让我们的 CEO 来做一个简短的自我介绍。How about give us a brief introduction about yourself and also DISCIPLINA?
I started my first business when I was 18 years old, maybe. It was oh no, really, it was in school. I was selling the postcards of the football players. My mother was working in the biggest soccer football team in St. Petersburg, and she gave me her job like a postcards from the football players. And so when I was in a younger school, so I was selling it. That was my first business. Really, after that, I was working a little bit like an employee in some companies, but already in 2003, 2004, when I was 20 years old, I decided and understood that really I want to do something myself. And before that, I was already doing some small websites and different such a type of the things in a notepad, because in 1999, 2000, all the website was made in a notepad, you know? So it was just coding HTML, and that's how the websites become. And I was in that, but I also was very interested into different other things, and that's why but that's how I started my first business. And really after that, next 12, 14 years, I was mostly involved in the same type of the business. Later, after that, like in 2016, I found an idea and I saw the space in this business and in educational ecosystem to build a new educational platform. I found an idea and found the name for it, and this service was called Teach Me Please. So in 2016, I got into the educational market, into educational business, and started the educational platform. And later after that, the DISCIPLINA was just some part of my educational growth and so on. So of all my ideas and all the possibilities I saw in this market, because really the market have a lot of possibilities in a big future, as I think. So I can tell a little bit more about what I was doing these 14 years, if it's interested, what this business was like. As I told before, in 2003, 2004, I was working in a company which had some retail stores in Russia, and also this company was distributing different goods for young people, like clothing, shoes, and different hardware, like snowboards and skateboarding, different extreme products for younger people in Russia. And in that moment, I realized that I have enough contacts and as I've heard enough possibilities to make my own business in the same sphere. That's how I founded my first a company. So it was not like something big. I just found some clients, some which I know, and I found some brands in United States and Canada, which was producing some skateboarding goods. So I found that I can buy here and still to sell to these guys, you know. And so it was the start. Few years later, I made already the first working web shop. It was a very good web shop, and in some period of time in Russia, it was one of the biggest one. After that, there was some problems in economic in Russia, which is rather often in Russia. Yes, and so I sold it, but I still was different wholesaling and distributing different brands. So I was like an official and usually unique representative of some different brands in Russia, and selling them to different web stores, web shops, different retail stores, and so on. And that was the thing which I was taking care about all the time. In some period of my life, I had a business connected to bank sphere. It's really not so. It's really sometimes hard to explain what it is, but I will try. In Russia, in 2005, 2006, 2007, if you want to pay for your mobile phone connection, like for your to pop up the mobile phone, so to your balance, you have to pay cash. So you have to find a special store where you can pay to the cash by cash to the mobile operator, and this money goes to your balance, and this store will take a commission for that. Yes. In some time of that, after that, there was a new solution found in Russia. People began to build the special cash machines, so you can come to the machine. It's like a ATM with a screen. You put your phone mobile number, put the cash money inside it, and this money goes to your balance. And so it's the same as like a cashier, but without people. And so there is no cost for rent, for paying the salary to the people. And so in some period of time, this business was very huge and very popular in Russia, because everybody was buying mobile phones, but to put the money on your balance of the phone was a big problem, really, because nobody was using their credit card so often, and it was really still very hard to send the money from your credit card to your mobile balance. And that's why these machines was very popular. And I had a chain of 72 or 78, I don't remember already, such a type of the cash machines in Russian underground metro. On the all top metro stations, I had my cash machine. So it was very huge business, really. It was very very big, and very successful. But later the government understand that they want to put the taxes on it, make some regulations and so on. And so I quit this business, and right now in Russia there is just maybe 2 or 3 big companies still have these machines. But yeah, and it was some type of my first like a bigger step into IT. It was close. It's not a web services, but it's still, I was very interested from IT engineering stuff. And yeah, that's like short story.
So I learned that Russia lack of the intermediary like Alibaba or Alipay, because I think the cashier, the ATM machines, just like taking the role of Alipay, right?
Yeah, the thing is so that really people in Russia still like to pay cash, and for sure we have all the type of the systems. We have Apple Pay, we have Samsung Pay, we really have Alipay also accepted in some stores and so on, because there's a lot of China travelers coming to Russia, and so it's also you can find that. But the thing is, so if we're talking about the common Russian citizens, a lot of them still do not trust banks and do not trust all these plastic things, and they want to feel the money. It's because of the history of the country, because of the Soviet Union, when the people don't have any money. And when also the problem in Russia is that ruble rate, according to the other currencies like dollar and euro, is falling down every like 5, 8, sometimes 10 years, like a double. So I remember already like 3 or 4 such a big losses, when in one day you lost half of your money. And also a lot of banks are closing and people are losing the money. That's why people are still keeping a lot of cash money at home, just at home, because they feel more safe this way. They don't trust these machines, and so all the people, this way. For sure, if we're talking about the students and younger people, they are more open for new technologies. They all have these smartphones and proper credit cards and so on, and say they use it very often.
So you mentioned you are involved in this kind of e-commerce business, wholesale business, and also the bank business, right? So how do you get this kind of a change into the education field?
Really, it's not because of something like exactly like I was searching for something. As it usually happens with any good idea, as I think you just get it. The really story about how I found the Teach Me Please was funny. I was with my wife in United States in California, and because all my life was connected to extreme sports somehow, I was always interested in surfing also. but because I'm living in Russia, we don't have a lot of surfing there, so I never had any opportunity to go for surfing. And so really we was on the place called Pacifica Beach. It's a very popular and very good, well-known place for surfing in California near San Francisco. And really, we was there just walking around, looking, and I saw a lot of surfers into the ocean. And my wife told me, "You have to try. You was dreaming about that so much time." I told, yes, for sure, but how? You need to rent something. I don't have any wetsuit and so on. She told me, "For sure, you can try. You can rent here and so on." I told, yes, okay, but I need a trainer. I need a coach because it's very dangerous. Really, surfing it only looks very easy, but it's very dangerous. And so I thought, okay, let's go home. I will try to find some tutor or some coach at home. And when we come back home, it was like 10 p.m., so mostly night. And I understand that I was spending like 2 hours making a Google request, opening next page, and really I understand that why I'm not able to just define the trainer coach very easily as we do with, for example, Airbnb. When I want to travel somewhere, I just open Airbnb application, see the room I need, pay right now and fly, and that's it. Why it's so complicated in education? And I just got this idea, it just started like burning in my mind a little bit. It was not like, oh, I found an idea. No, it was like, very strange. Why it's so? After that, next day, I wasn't able to find any trainer and so on, so I forget about that idea. I just tried the surfing and go to the next city, but this idea was in my mind. Why it's so complicated? The education business is so huge. Why we have a lot of different educational platforms like Coursera, Lynda, Udemy, a lot of others, but they all are separated and you don't have any place where you can find all type of education in one time, because all of them are very strictly directed into some field of education, on type of education, or it's some very small instrument. And for example, the next idea I got, I saw my wife, I remember that my wife was studying a lot of different courses online, and I asked her, what did you get as a result? She told me, on these courses I got like a paper, certificate, diploma, but on that course I got nothing. I was thinking, very interesting, but if, for example, I'm a company and looking for employee, and she came to me, how she can tell me, and how can I trust her that she is really passed these courses? How I can get this information? What results she got and so on? Because the problem of all education, because it was built long ago, many hundreds of years ago, all the system of education was growing up as a universities and institutions and so on. But the problem is so that we think that when you ask people about what is education, they will think about the school, about the university, maybe about the kindergarten, but that's it. But as I think, what is education processes? So when we started at school, our teacher tell us like 2 plus 2 is 4. And what is it? It's his experience. Yes, he know that 2 plus 2 is 4. He's not checking it every time. He just know that it's his experience converted into his knowledge. And so in a school, most of our knowledge is just a result that our teacher converting his own experience into his own knowledge and sharing this knowledge to us. And so this knowledge becomes our knowledge, and it's like become our own experience without experience. Yes, so we just sharing of knowledge. And and I was thinking more, okay, so in school we get knowledge from other people because it's their experience, they share their experience with us, and it's become our knowledge. But what goes after the university, when we start our own business, when we start working in some company like an employee, what's the difference? And I understand that's only one difference, is that not somebody giving us some experience as a knowledge. We are getting our own experience and converting this experience into our own knowledge. And I was thinking, so really there is no difference. And they really, the educational process is not ending in the universities and school. It goes all your life to the deaf. People are educating every day, and that's why when you're trying to find a job, the company asks you how long you was working on that place before us. Why they're interested in that? They're interested in that because it's like a value of your knowledge and your experience.
Yeah,
that's very funny. And I was thinking, okay, so but why companies are here and education is here, and here I see the gap. And here all the metrics of all these ideas came into my mind is the one platform model. I understand, okay, if it's why not to create a one platform which will connect all the educational companies, institutions, private teachers, private tutors, platform services, or whatever it is, into one ecosystem, and give this access to this ecosystem to the companies who are looking for employees, and track all the history of all the changes of skills of the person, how it's how people educate and so on, where they're going to, and why two similar for example, developers who finished two similar universities, graduated the similar universities, why one is a good developer and the second guy is not good developer with the same diplomas, same universities, why are they different? We don't know now because we're not able to analyze this information. We don't have access to this information. And I understood, oh, this opens a really a new way why people educate and how educational platform and systems works, because it's become possible to understand if it's important for kid to go to play hockey or basketball to become a good developer. We don't know. From the first side, it looks two different things which are not connected to each other. Maybe it's connected. Maybe it's important what are you doing at 5 years old to become a good developer, and so on. So, and that's how I found this gap, and it's become so huge in my mind that I was just thinking it every day and writing the ideas on the paper, not to forget them, and putting them into one big now it's called white papers. Yeah, but it was just my ideas.
I'm getting excited just hearing about it and check already. So let's dig in more into it. So the Teach Me Please have born, and how do you bring this kind of blockchain concept into this kind of project? Why and how blockchain can solve the problem that the previous app cannot solve?
Yeah, the problem was that how I came to blockchain as it is and why it's there. The thing is so that when I got this idea, on the first it was just a part of Teach Me Please, but when it was grown in my mind, I understood that really this idea about the profile of the person with the fully validated information about their skills is much more wider than one platform. So, and I separated it and called it Disciplina. And after that, I met my friends who are now part of my team, the guys, developers, and we was just talking with them about this idea, and they liked it a lot. And the thing is so that we made a technical research how we can realize that, how we can make it possible to make this idea come to life. And we understood that really one of the biggest issue why such a platform and system not exists right now, and the issue which you can see, for example, with a service like a LinkedIn, as I know, it's also not works in China, LinkedIn,
yeah,
and it also not works in Russia, because all the countries and all the governments, they're trying to make so that information about their citizens are kept inside the country. So this, because it's a private information, it's a private data, they're trying not to make it leak into any other services and so on. Look how many problems right now Facebook and Google have with the leaking of privacy, leaking of private information and private data. And that's why this building this service way without blockchain will be so that, okay, it's possible to build it without blockchain for sure, but it will not be in law in most of the country, because you have to make some third party, like a company, which will works with all schools worldwide, all universities, and which will download all the history of all students into its own database, and after that analyze it and make it like possible to search inside that base, because the possibility to make a search is one of the most important key feature of our blockchain. And so when we was thinking and understanding how to make it possible, because from one side we need to get access to analyzing of information, because really what is very, very important, we need to analyze information, but we do not need to see the information itself. So look, and we understand for sure the regular type of this model is when you have some database with information you need to analyze, and you download this information to yourself and analyze it at your local system and so on. But we've heard but if we can analyze this information in the place where it is now, and do not download it and keep it there without any leaking and without any sharing exact information about your grades, about your history and so on, but make this record some special architecture inside this local like a database, and get only the values of information, like numbers. Because for example, imagine the situation where we have only 2 grades. Simple model, like a good grade and bad grade, like a plus and a minus. So if we need a person, we have a lot of pluses and minuses. We don't need to really know all of them. Sometimes we need just an average. And so with the hotels on booking.com, when you book a hotel, you just see this number like 8.5 stars and so on. You don't thinking about how really it's counted down. Yes?
Yeah. You
just trust it. And we realize, oh, it's very cool. So we can keep this information there, make a special structure inside these local databases, and shares only some values of this information to the public, and get access to this information with the special rules and so on. That's how we understood that only blockchain solution can help us. And it was really a very interesting case, because it's one of the best cases of using the really blockchain technology as a technology. Because what's the problem right now in the market? I see everybody, when somebody is hearing blockchain, they think about only cryptocurrencies. But the funny thing is so that you can build really cryptocurrency without real blockchain. We have a few projects like that. And also, not everything which is built on blockchain and cryptocurrency is a currency. It's a very big difference. And we've heard about that. Oh, it's very cool, because we can make the system smooth and self-living, when you don't need to have a centralized controlling center. Yes, you have just to get some updates to the system, make some updates to the system, and so on. That's how we came to this idea. We made a really very good technical paper, which is everybody can download on our website. It's called Yellow Paper, which really explains all our ideas from the mathematical and logical side. And so everybody can read it and understand why we choose the blockchain and how it really will work in future. Because it's very interesting paper. I think everybody might read it. Not everybody will understand it, but yeah, it's totally different from the white paper. It's a yellow paper, just a technical documentation, which is very important and very interesting. That's how we got to there, because it was only one solution how we was able to do that.
So about the technical team, about the yellow paper, right? It's about technical paper, right?
Yeah.
So about that technology, technical, I want to. There is one thing that I cannot know, and that I cannot avoid in the technical team. It's very powerful, because it's more about the all of this kind of developers are from Cardano, especially either Cardano or Sacro. Yeah, and Sacro is also the part of the core developer team of the Cardano. So how do you get them involved in this kind of project?
The funny thing was that we just met in the right moment, in the right place. As I told before, that I met with the friends. Really, I was talking about them. Already at that time, in my company, there was a technical developer who was studying with them, and he's still a big friend of them. And so when we was thinking about this idea from the technical side, he told me, Ilya, you need to talk with my friends. They're very good in not in a blockchain. They're very good in logical building of engineering, IT engineering. And we met with them. So when I was meeting them with the first time, I didn't know that they are so cool and they are so great and so on. It just was guys and so on. For sure, I understood that they are really clever, and I was very happy to meet them. And I described the idea. And the funny thing was that exactly at the same moment, they finished the first step of Cardano development, and the Cardano got online. It was September or October 2017. Yes, so the first version was got online, and after that, the part of the project which was on their side with the Cardano was finished by them, and finished successfully. And so they just it was just a new step for them to move forward for something new, and to make something some other project alive. And that's how we meet in the right moment, because I'm sure that maybe if I will meet with them half year before, maybe they will just tell me some advices and forget, because they was fully into Cardano development coding. And maybe 6 months later they will be already doing some other things. So it's with a lot of different projects, and with the Teach Me Please and Discipline, it's very funny how many things happened apparently. It just happened in the time you need that. It was very funny, and yeah, I'm getting a lot of questions about how I got the domain name teachmeplease.com.ru, and so, because it's a rather good name, and so on. It also was very I was lucky, and it's and very, very, very funny. And here it was the same. I was just lucky to get the proper context into proper time, and when I described my idea to the guys, they liked it a lot, because these guys, I think, one of the best on the market, and still the best of the market. And they one of the few team which really able to do something real, and really made something real in the past. And they're super clever, and they're super curious about what they're doing, and really because they're very into education also. Some of them are studying students into university in the university, and so they know what education is. They know this problem. They understand that very well. They told me, "Oh, your idea is so great. We want to make it together. Let's make it together." So when I was meeting with them first time, and after, we was just talking about maybe there are some advices and so on. But they told me, "Oh, we want to make it together with you. We like it. It's so huge. It's so big. It's so interesting. And I think it's for them, it's a new step, a new challenge to make something real, big, something which can really change the world. And I hope so that we will do that."
So is it hard to get those kind of college institutions get aboard, because it's concerns about the personal data? It's kind of sensitive. Is that hard?
Yeah, they are very sensitive, and for sure, as I told before, when they heard the blockchain, they thought, "What, blockchain, cryptocurrency? We're not able to work with the cryptocurrency," and so on. But when you describe them that it's not a cryptocurrency, it's a blockchain technology which is really used by a lot of companies already, and it's normal, it's legal, it's okay. And for sure you need some time to describe them your idea, because idea is not very easy to understand from the few words. There's a lot of different services which you can just tell it's a cryptokitties, and it's everybody said what is there, some game and so on. It's but this type of the project, you need to talk with the people half hour and explain your ideas, why you came to this, how it will work, what benefits they will get. And so, but when so only one problem right now we have with some institutions and university is time, because not all of them are ready. All of them want to send us presentation. We send in the presentation, and they tell, okay, we'll think, because they read the blockchain and so on and so on, and they're very afraid, and they really not able to understand it from the paper presentation. I need to talk with them, but really we overcome this problem, and really I'm meeting every day. I have some meetings with some universities, schools worldwide. I was in New York in Stevens University. We had a very good connection, which will go to the partnership with the Santander universities. Santander is a big big bank system in Europe, and we hope we will finish the partnership with them next year, because they have access to the 1,300 universities worldwide. We will on Thursday. I will have a meeting in State University in St. Petersburg in Russia, and for sure. So right now, when we found the proper way to communicate with them, everywhere we describe the idea, people think, oh, it's really cool, it's really useful, because all of them are thinking in some type of that direction. They understand that it's useful, but all of the projects and all the ideas we have right now in the market are much smaller. They are much smaller and much more simple. They are not so wide in functions as our blockchain will be. That's only the one case why we are building our own blockchain and not using Ethereum or EOS or whatever it is. The main problem is that for sure it was possible to build it on Ethereum, for example, but it will be much less functions in the system. It will be much slow. It will be much more complicated, and really not all the ideas will be able to realize on the other blockchain. That's why we understood that we really need to design our own chain from the scratch, especially for needs of storing the private data and private information, because that's the case. The case where we need to build such a type of the systems which make people understand that their information, their private data, is securely stored inside the places where it is now. So you don't care that your school will have information about you. It's okay for you, yes? But if your school will just give access to the database of your grades to some other people, you will not be happy. That's why we was thinking how, and that's why we found the solution in a blockchain, and that's why we designing it from the scratch, because we need to overcome this problem with the privacy, and we did it. Really, our solution have no problem with the law. Really, from other side, we think that this problem with the privacy will change in next few years, because right now I think it's too much. People are talking about that too much. I think it's, like people are posting pictures about themselves to the social networks, and after that they are angry that social network know where they were, but you posted yourself with the geotagging and so on. So what you was expecting, for sure your social networks know where you was, what you was looking at, and what you was talking about, because you gave this access to them. But people, I think it's too much. I think people have to think a little bit less about that problem, because it's really not such a big problem as it is. Really, if you're posting and giving access to, that's why in our system, users, like common people, they are not able to edit their account, like make some changes to their account and so on. They are only one option they can have is make it visible and not visible. So if you don't want some companies to be able to search you like an employee or just track you and so on, you just turn off your account. But you're losing the benefits of the system, and your neighbor, which is connected to the system, will be more often to find a better job than you, because the companies will be more open to talk with him than with you, because they will know everything about him but not about you. That's how it works, and that's why we designing our own blockchain, and that's why we have overcome this problem with the private data privacy.
So here are two questions about your explanation before. So first, if we build this kind of project on Israel, it's kind of too slow or something like that. But how about EOS? How about build on EOS? What's the problem to build on EOS or other
as with any other blockchain, we need to be one of our key feature is a possibility to make a search requests. So what does it mean? It means that our business model of our blockchain is based on the idea that recruiting companies will be able to make a search request into the chain to find out the employees they need, how it looks like. The companies will be able to make a fully very precise digital stamp of the skill or the person they are looking for. So like a very precise level of each skill they need, like a mathematics on that level, like a physics on that level, jumping, swimming. It can be anything. It's not only about the sciences. It can be swimming, dancing, whatever it is, any skill. It can be. It can have very precise level, and so these companies will be able to upload this like a stamp of skills into the chain and to make a search request inside the chain to find out if there is a person which had this level of skills they need or close to this level. Yes, and they will get a result. Yes, this guy is one you need. And so that's a possibility of search, and for sure this search requests have to be paid by it have to be not free. It have to be for money, and they will pay the stable price for this search request, one token. Yeah, for example, one Disciplina token will cost one search request, and it's and to make all these things smooth working. You have to put this into the design of your blockchain. So you're not able to build it on top of some other blockchains because there will be all other things coming in these networks and so on. But our network, yes, will be only focused on these tasks, yes, making this search requests and confirmations of CVs, records, and so on. So it's very unique and very special type of actions inside the network. You know, like we need our very special movements inside the network. Yeah, you know, like actions. I don't know how to explain it more.
So we're talking about how, within the Disciplina, what's the economic model of Disciplina? As a data provider, what can I benefit from these kind of projects?
And it's also very easy, and also the one key feature which is really built into the architecture of the blockchain is the business model. As I told before, let's go a little bit on the beginning. I told you that the information we need is already exists. Yes, this information is already information about your grades in a school. Your school have them. Yeah. Your university has. Have information about your grades in universities and your results. They already have information about you. So the information we need in our business, it already exists in digital way. So yes, we see, but it's split into parts. Some part of information about you is stored into school, some parts in university, some part in your, I don't know, like kindergarten, yeah, or maybe you was changing school, or maybe you was changing university. So information about you is split it into parts of different databases. Yes. So how it works, as I told before, or like all these databases have some part of information about you, and so our system is designed the way when after the search request. They pay token for that to proceed, but this token is not going like to us like a profit or to some it's really split it into the parts according to the how many databases some have information about you. So for example, company A like found you like an employee, and the information about you is stored in 3 databases. That means that this token they paid will be split according to the value of information each of these databases have. So that means that really just storing your information about you for schools, universities, and all other companies becomes a profit, because they just confirming that yes, we have this information, this information is true, and so on and so on, or they are replying to the search request. And every time somebody is trying to verify your CV or making a search request and finding you, they get paid for that. So it becomes possible. Right now, universities and schools are not able to get any profit from that. They just have information about you, but they are not able to make money on it. With our system, it's become possible to monetize this information unlimited quantity of time. really millions of time, and so it's extra money for them, extra profit, and it's very interesting and very simple. And because it's a blockchain, nobody controls this process. It's just run itself like a smart contract. You know, like this HR company paid token. It's split it into parts to the companies who have some information about you, and everybody happy. That's very simple. And after that, these universities and schools, they are able to do what? For sure, they are able to sell these tokens back to the recruiting companies and so on, or they can just stake it because we have proof of stake. So staking is also a possibility. And because we are not proof of work and they're not doing any mining and so on, so it's very easy for them to make staking because they just have a running laptop and that's it. That's already enough.
So how about the data provider for myself? If I gather a search request about Mia, like for example, like Mia, right? So all of the data provider will give me the results. And how about no,
for sure no. Look, to me there are like there's a few options. For example, you like a person really not able to find somebody by name, and nobody is able to do that. Really, what we are working on and what is interesting for us is a skills level. Yes, so two options. First option, you like a recruiting company have a like skills level you need. So you asked the
results are the names, right?
Yes, the name is the result. Yes, so you have some parameters of the person you are looking for, and not the name, but really the key part of the key is an answer. So you like a company know who you want to find, and you make a request, and the network answers you that this person is somebody you need. It's not answers you with the information of this person. So you give information and tell the system, I need somebody who looks like these skills. Yes. And after that, the system gives you this person is that. So you understand how funny is that? They are not sharing the information. They just answering, yes, we have this person. That's it. So so that means that you already know who you're looking for. So that means that you are not getting extra information about the person. You just get person itself. For sure, person is able, as I told you before, become invisible, and so we will be not be able to find such a person. But if you are trying to find a better job, why to do that? Because it's very good. And the second one is verifying. For example, when you, like a future employee, come to the company and give them your resume, CV, and there is some records about I was studying in such a university, blah blah blah. But imagine it's not a paper; it's just like for example, digital document like a PDF, for example, and it have some type of encryption and so on, and so you give it like a CV. Yeah, it's my CV. How the company you want to work in can understand that it's true? They can just put the for example, hash of this CV into the chain. And chain answers, yes, this CV is true, or not, this CV is not true. So again, you already get this information from person. And only after that, you just asking the system if it's true or not. It's very easy. So again, we are not getting, there is no leaking of private information. There's no, because you already get this information from person. So from one side, you have a level of skills you're looking for. The system just answers you, yes, this person is. The second one, you have a CV, so you already got this information from person, so there is no problem with the privacy and so on. So that's it. And for sure, you like a user will have like only one profile in the system with the private and public keys and so on. So that's how it will work.
Wow, that's really interesting. So let's take a little break. Let's go to the airdrop part. So 大家好，就是我们讲了那么久呢，现在就是时候休息一下了。我们进入第一轮的空投活动，我们看一下，让我们小哥哥放一下我们的关键词。第一个关键词是我们今天项目的名字的缩写 DSCP。 Is that right? DSCP.
Yep.
Your the token name. So the first round of airdrop, the keyword is DSCP. 去到巴比特资讯的公众账号里面是输入我们的关键词 DSCP 就可以进行第一轮的抽奖了。然后大家久等了，每一轮的抽奖都有3次机会，然后大家加油 DSCP 要好好记住这个哦。Thank you for the airdrop.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So Chinese people are like that.
We need a community building and so on. So we want to be, you know, the thing is so that the Asia for us is one of the key regions right now, because we spend a lot of time here during our campaign, and we see how this problem is big here when with the validation of skills of the people, because a lot of people are traveling neighbor countries and so on. A lot of people are moving from one country to another and so on and so on. So and when they come to the companies, it's a very big headache for companies to understand if they are not lying, where they were starting, because for sure people give them some diplomas and so on, but not all the universities are popular, not everybody knows some schools and so on. So it's very, and also you have to understand that there is a big problem that what to do if the person was educating himself at home, reading the books, making some software at home, for example, if he want to be a developer, and making it good, but he was never studying in university. But he's genius. He's just doing how he can get applied by a big company, because he have no resume, no CV. It's empty.
Yeah.
No way. And so but his skills are great. His skills are super huge. And the thing is so that they see that in our blockchain you can build, because we're open source blockchain, any company, any user can build its own application on top of our blockchain for any needs. Yes, whatever your idea is, you can build whatever you want. And so one of these ideas is that you can build, for example, a test service for confirming the skills. For example, I was educating myself at home, and I want to be applied by company, but my CV level is 0 because it's empty. I was never working in a company, and so I can use, for example, service which run tests, and I can come to them and tell, please give me a super huge test on, I don't know, on some development language, for example, Haskell language, which we are coding on, or Java, or whatever it is, and they give you tests. You pass it online, for example, or in person, and no matter, and you confirm that you have such a skills, and after that you get like a special certification inside the chain. And it's better than your CV because it's like a test results and so on. You just pass it, and without any education in school and university, you can have really true confirmation of your skills. Yes, it's very new way. Because right now a lot of people traveling a lot, and a lot of people, younger people, like to travel a lot, and so for them it's very hard to stay in one place for 3, 4, 5 years to study in university. That's why a lot of people are not finishing the universities and just leaving the country and go to another country, trying to find a better place for living and so on. So we want to overcome this problem to make people free to educate where no matter where they are. And so all the educational systems and services which we have on the market right now, if they will use our blockchain, it opens for them a new market for the people who really can use these educational platforms and services instead of universities. And really universities also thinks the same way. When I was in United States, I was talking with a university. I had a meeting with the University of Stevens University, and they really thinking a lot about that, and they realize that really for them, they are mostly educated people in mathematics and physics, the basic level of knowledge students can get without physically visiting the university, without sitting into their classroom and so on. And for them it's a big cutting of costs, because you don't need the big rooms for a lot of people. First 3 years you don't need the professors to spend the time inside this group of the people. And that they want to do, they're trying to build a system which will educate the people in a fully automatic way first 3 years. So no teachers, nobody control you, just a system which give you some tasks. You give results to the system with a showing why you get these results, and the system analyzes your results and analyzes how and why you made these results and give you the next task according to your past results. So that's really education of future, when people will be like a basic level of education, you will become possible to get without any visiting of real physical university, but get the same diploma of some huge, big, well-known university, for example, I don't know, Stevens, Cambridge, Stanford, whatever it is. And only deeper level of education, when you need to make some scientific works and talk a lot with the professor, like a face-on-face, you can come to university on the 4th and 5th year, and that's enough. And they understand that it's a very good plan for them. And I really agree, I think it's the same. And that's why our platform is also good for that, because for them it's a problem to store their grades. And really, Google company is working deeply into this problem, and that's the thing we want to collaborate with them also. And so it's a problem of storing this private information and private data.
What if I got somebody to replace me to get the test to get a good grade?
It's about the physical identification. Yeah, it's a problem of future. Really, it's a lot of projects and services are trying to make this problem solved. But for sure, I saw in China, in my hotel, there is a screen which really records people.
So scan your face.
Yeah. So really, so your country already using such a type of the system, yes, like a fingerprints and face recognition. So it's the same. Your profile can have a storage of information, like some fingerprint of your information about your face and so on. And so the system will know if it's you or not. Like it's a lot of projects are working on this, and so I think that really social networks will be the key solution for that, because I think that social networks are already asking people for verifying their accounts. Yes, so you already have to verify your account that it's not a fake account. Yes, and so for sure in future it will this problem become more and more bigger, and they will make more and more strictly rules for people to have their social network accounts verified. And that's how I think in future people will be really, I think all these things like an ID, passports and so on will be really connected to your social network. And we also want to be connected to your social network, because right now you are able to put any information into your account about your education, about your previous job. I can put that I was I don't know, like a founder of Apple in my social account. Why not? Who can stop me? Yeah, you can put whatever you want. And I think that in future this problem will increase, and for sure the social networks like WeChat, Facebook and so on, they're thinking about that, about the verifying accounts, and that's how we will identify the people in future with some applications and services, and Disciplina will just have a good API for these services to use for.
So we have known that the Teach Me Please is the previous app before this Disciplina app, right? So what's the campus? Because I saw it on the website.
Campus is our new idea. Campus is not a project as it is. It's a separate. It's just we want to run the acceleration program to help the people build something using our blockchain. As I told before, I know that a lot of people have very good ideas for doing some good projects and good services, but they don't have any money, they don't have where to work, they don't have any teammates. And for example, so one person can have very good idea, and this person can, for example, be very good coder. Yes, but he's not a designer, he's not a marketing guy, and for him to build a project he wants to build, it means that he needs money to find the designer, marketer, manager and so on and so on. But a campus is like an acceleration camp we want to build, where we will select the best ideas with the best people and give them funds and give them all the instruments they need. So we can help with my team. I have a very big, more than 40 people team of designers, front-end developers, back-end developers, blockchain developers, marketing, PR, everything in-house. And we can help them to build their own projects, to build them on Disciplina. So if somebody want to build something connected to recruiting, connected to HR, connected to the tracking of people's skills and so on, or any other idea which can be built on our blockchain, they can send us an application and we will check and see how interesting it is. And after that we will choose the best one, and we will give them all the support, and money, support, the technical support, everything they need to build their ideas in life.
So has it already begun to submit the applications?
Yeah, everybody. Right now we're accepting the applications. Really, I will tell you that there is not a lot, and there is not a lot of good one. I don't know. Maybe if people don't think it's true, I don't know. Like, because we don't see a lot of good ideas, a lot of different things when people trying to scam us, you know, like trying to fool us with some stupid things and just to get the money and send. Like, no, not for sure, but we are very open for any good applications. And on our website there is a special link that everybody can use and upload an application there, and for sure contact us after that, and yeah, we are looking for that because it's needed for ecosystem. We need because it's not possible for us ourselves only to build all the type of applications on our blockchain. We need people to build something on it also. We are open for that, because bigger, more projects we have on a blockchain, on our Disciplina, the more successful project will be. And it's a normal platform model. When every user of platform is interested, then other users come into the platform and make it bigger, because it's benefits for everybody. Because
yeah, so what's the achievement? I guess our audience are really interested about that part. So what's the achievement the Disciplina has been achieved?
Right now, so for sure we are doing everything according to our roadmap, and really I'm happy that we showed the alpha version on time, so everybody can already download the fully working alpha version and wallet to their computers. Right now it's only Linux machines and Mac OS machines, Apple, but later it will be for Windows, but not now. And so everybody can download it, install it, make token running, and so it's already a running system with the tokens, but it's still not the original tokens which make some value. This is just a test tokens, but it's already running, and it was shown in September. And the next step for us was to build already the first working and useful application, which can be used already right now by the educational companies, by the recruiting companies, and so on. And we understand that the minimum valuable product, MVP, yes, for us is where some university or school can upload to the system some CV, some diploma, CV, certificate of the person, and get verification of it by our blockchain. And from other side, the recruiters can get the CV and go to the website of the school or university or something like that, find the button like check the CV, press a button, upload this certificate, diploma or CV to the system, and get a result that yes, it's verified, it's true or not it's true, and it should be already based on our blockchain, and it should be already working system. And really, right now we finished developing this system, and on Thursday I will be in St. Petersburg State University presenting this system to the public, and I hope the next few weeks we will be able to make it public to everybody, and so every school, every university will be already able to start using our blockchain. It will not be decentralized yet, it will not be fully functional, it will not be able to search and so on, but it's a first step for us, and the first real functions of real token supply and the real usage of Disciplina blockchain in life. So it's a little bit more than earlier than it was stamped in our roadmap, because in our roadmap our testnet was planned on to the Q1, and this application is already like very close to the fully functional testnet. So it's a very big step for us. Yeah.
So what's the upcoming good news you mentioned?
Yeah, we have very good big partnerships coming to sign, and very big projects, as I told before, like Santander universities, Russian state universities, and it's a very big one. We already have some, they don't have a name, like it's a group of people, enthusiasts in Russia, which got the support from government to make a system of verification diplomas in Russia, and they already got the money from government to realize this system, and they was trying to build it themselves and understood that it's very complicated and so on, and so they forgot about the idea, and so they already have agreements with the 18 universities in Russia to use such a system. And so right now we're finishing this verification application, give it to them, and all these 80 universities will start using it next day to check their records, put them into the blockchain, make the validation of the records and so on. So it's already now. It's not a next year. It's not like a few months later. It's already now happening right now. It's a very important thing. Yeah.
Okay, do you believe there is any possibility or any chance that the government want to get involved this field and build this kind of education infrastructure themselves?
They are thinking about that, but it's not very easy from the one side, and for sure government not able to do everything themselves. Yes, so for sure they're trying projects and companies which are working in such a direction they need, and that's why let's imagine that I don't know, for example, Russian government tomorrow will think about that, but why they need to spend money on that and time on development on that if they have our blockchain running free of charge? Just put it into all the schools and universities and you have a running system. You don't have to pay for that. It's a blockchain. You just install it and use it. For sure you pay for search requests, for verification, but you, like a government, you're just getting access to this information, not the information, but you're getting access to these possibilities without paying any money. So for sure they will choose not to pay the money and just use our system. It's about the timing, and for sure the second very important thing to understand is that it's very hard to realize such an idea. As I told before, I was very lucky to get my team, and all my team which I have right now, I was very lucky, and I'm very happy that I have these guys. Everybody in my team is very useful, and so for me, team is the most important thing in any project. So for me, team is everything, because you can have unlimited quantity of money, you have best ideas in the world, but if you don't have a team, you are nothing. So that's why my team is my biggest asset. You know, like it's my biggest value is my team, and. For sure, I'm very lucky, and that's it. The problem that government, it's very hard for them to get such a team, because government things and all these things with the government are always not so clear. You know, they're always very special. They're trying to control you, push you, and so on. And such a type of developers, and as I have, they're not a persons who will like to work in such a condition. They are more idea guys. They like idea. They do it for idea, not because of the money. Like, you know, it's not the way when you can just give them twice bigger money and they go live in this project and go and doing that. And for sure, because of it's so complicated to build it, and that's why it's I think we are safe now, you know, like I think we're okay not to be nervous about other projects trying, because not to trying to do the same. We saw a lot of projects which are telling that they're doing mostly the same, but when you read their technical documentation, you're just laughing.
Yeah. So do you think, how do you think the relationship between the government and the blockchain? Do you think the government will be afraid of blockchain? Because most of the governments like to control all of the, no matter about the data or other things about the citizens. But blockchain is the opposite. So There is no control over blockchain.
You know, that's a very interesting theme to talk about. A lot of people looks at the blockchain and thinks that it's like decentralization is a solution to overcome the borders and forget about the government and so on. Really, it's not so. Really, it's never possible to get this decentralization because it will be chaos. The thing is so that for sure government trying to control everything. They really think that government is scared about the blockchain because they do not fully understand it. Really, for sure for them it's a little bit tricky to control it. But control what? Right now we have only a lot of millions of cryptocurrencies. For sure it's a problem for government because of no taxes, no visible transactions and so on. And for sure they will force this problem a lot because it's a big problem for them. And really this problem makes a lot of bad things to projects like mine, where you use blockchain technology as it should be, as a regular blockchain, regular technology. For me, it's just a technology, not some speculative things and so on. And for sure, but I was talking a lot with different government people in Russia also, and they all interested into blockchain. They all like it, and they want to be blockchain integrated into the ecosystem of government processes, and they're really building something on that. The problem right now is that blockchain have one other problem which not everybody can understand. Entrance level into all IT projects and blockchain also is very low. What does it mean? That means that any student sitting in the restaurant writing on the napkins the drawing of the blockchain, how it works, to his friends, thinks that, oh, I'm a blockchain specialist. And because of that, these people start thinking that they understand they understand the technology very well, and they telling about this to all other people, and so their friends begin thinking that, oh, my friend is a blockchain specialist, is so cool. And after that, these guys got employed by government, for example, because there in a government nobody understands what the blockchain is. And so somebody told, oh, I have a friend who have a friend who have a friend who is a big blockchain guy. And so this big blockchain guy came to the government, telling them a lot of big words like blockchain chains, proof of stake, proof of work, consensus, blah 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 blah, and people, oh yeah, he really knows it. But as a result, when people start coding, they see, oh, not works. It not works because it's a very complicated thing. It's a really scientific thing. It's I think a very limited quantity of people worldwide understand really how blockchain works really way and how it's can be integrated into the government and so on. That's why it's a big problem. But in some time it will change. People with such a low level of entrance will go away and so on. But for sure, this level of entrance, when you can just be very simple in a coding and can tell everybody that you're a blockchain specialist, cause a lot of problems for the market and for the projects. But I hope that companies which hiring such a low level specialist will understand in future that they need to spend more time and they have to be more qualified in taking people on job, getting in new employees. That's why also Disciplina won't help with that, because it's a big problem in all IT. For example, 2 months ago I was talking with a guy who was trying to get into my company as a front-end developer, and he was very low level. He was like a very junior guy about the skills, but he was very serious. He was talking very he was very long, and he was thinking he's very good, but he was not so really. His skills was very low level, but he was not. And before us, he was working in some government company, getting very good salary, getting very big money. And after the interview, I asked him, okay, so how much money you wanna? Because I was thinking, okay, maybe if he will tell me like the minimum, I maybe will take him like a junior for some education, and maybe in future he can become some good one. But he told me the numbers which my top developers are not getting, and that he wants such an amount of money. And I told, what? Because and he was thinking that he's not junior, he's a senior developer, but he was really, and he is not able to understand. And why it's so? Because his previous company where he was working in told him that he's good.
Yeah, people don't know about blockchain exactly. Not
blockchain, IT is the same, yeah.
Yeah, it's not that simple.
Yeah. So the qualified employees is a very big problem, and for sure we have to educate more and more people, and I hope in a few years it will change, and we will see very big and very useful blockchain projects, really useful and really working, because right now we don't have any working blockchain projects.
So as a blockchain CEO or just as an engineer, how to qualify, how to test, how to tell this kind of person is good, qualified or not?
A lot of tests and a lot of interviews.
You mean the test about the coding?
Yes, for sure. Coding, analytics, mathematics, everything is very important.
Okay, so let's take the second time break. Let's do the air job again. So 就大家就是再辛苦了，然后就是非常辛苦看我们的直播。今天呢，非常感谢大家来看我们的直播。我们第二轮的抽奖即将开始，第二轮的关键词是存证。让我们小哥哥放一下关键词，需要到巴比特资讯的公众账号里面去输入2个字“存证”。就可以参与今天的第二轮抽奖了。为什么说存证这个关键词呢？是因为我们今天的 DISCIPLINA 在做的事情就是做一个我们学习档案以及职业生涯上各种技能的这样子的一个存证的一条区块链。然后希望大家记住这2个关键词存证。每个人都有3次机会，需要到巴比特资讯的公众账号里面去输入我们这2个字哦。So even in the bear market right now, so a lot of things happened in the bear market, like for example, like the STO security token offering has been hit I think in the middle of this year, and especially in America.
Yeah.
But I think it's in last month. There is Beijing banned this kind of security token offering in China. So what's the situation in Russia?
In Russia, there's no situation at all. Because in Russia it was never restricted, but it was never in law. Right now they are trying to make some laws according to the blockchain and token sale campaigns and so on, and security like token offerings. But they're trying to put the token offerings into the part of crowdfunding. And so they want to limit their crowdfunding, that one physical person is able to invest only $10,000, not more, into any crowdfunding project. So a project is not able to get more than $10,000 from one person. But it's not signed yet. It's just a prototype of the law. But I think they will do that and so on. But anyway, there is a lot of Russian projects which are making a token offerings. But 99% the money they get comes not from Russia, because Russian big investors are very afraid of that. Not because of law. Because law, we don't have any law about that. It's not banned, it's not and it's not allowed. It's we are like in some black hole of that, like nowhere and that. But they look into different market things and so on. For sure they see how big price changing it goes every day, and they think that it's a big risk to them, and they just right now I think that for sure the biggest Russian investors, they invest in blockchain projects, but for sure they are very careful in it. And if we are talking about average people, average investor, they they're very afraid about that. They're very careful. They are waiting the time when it will be more understandable, because you know that a regulation is not so bad. For example, what you will choose if I will tell you, okay, one option is to do everything unlegal, but you can do whatever you want, sell tokens to everybody, call them how you want, but without any possibility to make this money clear. Yes, like you will still have to find the solution how to make this money fiat currency and to pay the solars and so on. Or other way, I will tell you, pay the taxes and this money will be clear. Like pay, I don't know, 13, 40, any like 40%. What is better? Getting there only 60% but clear money, or 70% but clear money, or 100% but tricky situation when you're always afraid about that government will tomorrow knock on your door with the police and put you in a jail. For example, in the United States it's a big problem. In the United States the financial crimes people are getting very long they have to spend a lot of time in jails, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years for just not paying taxes. So that's why our company, for example, is fully legal, and we have a licenses. We're registered in Estonia. We have a licenses from government of Estonia to run a token sale, and we confirmed, we showed them our white paper really when they was given our license, to understand how our token will be used in our system in future. It's very important for them. But because we do everything officially, we have official corporate account on exchange. We have official bank account in normal European bank. We are ready to pay all the taxes and so on. And that's why we feel free, and we can come to any company, to any institution, to any service and tell we are a clear company, we are fully transparent against law, and so you can work with us without any afraid. And that's why also a big problem of blockchain projects. They are running token offerings, and after that they're trying to work with the real business. But how real business will work with them if they are not in law? And everybody is afraid, you know, like for example, and there is a lot of still manipulation on the market, which cause that you can have a very big problems for example, in United States, because all these things with converting bitcoins to dollars and back and so on, it's all not in law. It's a big crime there. And you know how many projects, you know, a lot of some people, the big exchanges are in prison in states now with the big money and so on. And so I think that the regulation is good. I think that some countries, what they do, I think maybe the China is the same way. They ban it not because they don't like it. They ban it because they are waiting when the industry will be ready for regulation, and when the instrument for regulation will become possible to be on the market. So I think that regulation, really normal regulation, is good, because it's a way how you can make the clear, transparent business. Long-term business, not the short-term. For sure, if you're just trying to raise money and run away, for sure you don't care about law and so on. You just take the money and run. But if you are talking about the long-term business, you have to be very careful and step by step. And that's why I think that for many countries, they just think that why we have to spend time right now making some laws and so on if we can just ban and wait. When the instruments of control will be on the market, we will unban it and make some laws and so on. It's much more, it's really a regular way how it works in a lot of countries, when they just ban something and after that think how to make it in law. I think it's the same, as I understand, it's the same here in China. I think it's in a lot of other countries also the same, when they just ban, not because they're afraid and not because they don't want it. It's just because they think that they are not ready for right now for regulation of these things. But in future, they for sure will be open for that.
Okay, so if the normal investor in Russia is not that enthusiastic than the other people, than the other place, so did you ever consider move the office to other place that may be more more enthusiastic?
Really, what I have to remember is that price of time. Yes, for sure, the price of time of office rent and so on in Russia is much cheaper, for example, than in the United States. It's the first thing, yes, or in Europe, it's much cheaper. Employees, salaries, we are paying much, not much, but really less when than the same employee will get in Europe. And so, if we will move to United States or to Europe, for example, or some Asian countries, our costs will increase. For what? Just to move? No, we're really still able to be very close to the market with opening some small offices and like a representative offices in different countries. That's the thing we want to do right now. For example, in China, in Singapore, in Japan, we want to have some maybe 1 or 2 teammates on the place just to work directly with the companies here. But all the developer process is much more cheaper to run in Russia, and all my developers are Russian, mostly all of them are Russian, and so it's much more cheaper and much more effective for me to keep them there, because how I will move them, it's, you know, it's like, and for what? It's much cheaper, and it's much cheaper and a better way. If we now need to collaborate with somebody in China, in Japan, we better open a small representative office with a few employees, with a few teammates here on the place, working with the project directly. That's enough. But developing in Russia is a good solution. Yeah.
So what's the I may ask you a question that the audience or the normal investor are concerned about. So what's the standard or a standard of the project that is a good project or not?
How to understand if a project is good?
Is there any qualifications or standard?
The problem of a lot of investors that they are trying to qualify the people without being qualified themselves. That's the interesting thing. So like people trying to understand if this project good is bad without qualification of making it possible. So if people wanna know more about projects and how to invest into the project or how to take a part in some projects, they have to learn it. It's a science. It's not easy. It's not just, you know, like you just put some money. Oh, I like this guy, I will give him, and it's good. You know that a good guy is not a is not a job. You know, like the thing I'm like to tell, because sometimes we get in some good teammates which are really good people, like a good. But being a good person is not being a good employee. It's a totally different thing. And so here's the same. You can like the project, you can like the founders and so on, but that means nothing. What, for example, when somebody is sending me some file, some documents of some projects and ask me, what do you think about that project and so on? The first thing I'm telling them to look into is the team. As I told before, the team is very important. You need all. My advice to all all our users and so on, and who wanna participate in some campaign and so on, try to get access to the team. Try to talk with the team. Try to understand what really their ideas are. So it's not so hard really to understand. You can talk with a person just briefly about what you're doing, how your everyday process goes on, to understand if the people are really into this project they are talking about. Are they really spending all their time into this project? Is this project really so important for them? You can talk, you can understand them with just briefly conversation. That's important. And not only with the founders, because usually if it's a good founder, he will be very effective. But try to find some common developers or managers and so on, and just ask them their idea about the project. Just ask them about what they think, how the project will be what the project will be in 1, 2, 3 years, how they will build this project and so on. So try to understand if really people believe in what they're doing and if they are really doing what they're talking, because you will see, you will feel that people align you if they will do it. So because for sure you can understand if you are also if you understand how for example routine work in office comes, you understand that if they align or not. Yeah, for example, you know how all this stuff works. Yes. And for sure, if I will tell you tomorrow, oh, I'm making a big shows online and so on, and you will ask me just a few questions about how something works, you will see that I don't know anything about that. Because some inside things, you know, it's the same. You have to understand some business maybe questions and so on. You can ask to the founder, you can ask to the team to understand what and how, and also try to see what already done. Because when we was running our campaign, we already was coding for mostly 8-10 months already. We already was making the product, and people already was able to see the code, to make a due diligence of the code, to understand if it's really a good code, you know. And some of them did that. And it helped us because people saw that, oh, really, they're coding, they're really doing something already before getting some money, already before selling some tokens. We already we invested into Disciplina more than $1 million before we started the token sale campaign. Wow. Our own money, me and my partner. So you understand, it's totally different. Because for me, it's a project for my life. Teach me please Disciplina. I'm not separating them a lot because really it's, but and these projects are projects of all my life. I'm not doing any other business. I had other businesses, but when I started in the Teach Me Please, I sold everything. I had a few watch stores in Russia. I had a few like a backpack store and so on. But I closed and sold everything just to be focused on this idea. And that's very important, I think, from the founder. If you're a founder, you have to make people come after you. You know, you see there is some direction, and you make like a way to this direction, and you make people come after you. That's very important. That's what's very important. And so I think that people investing into the projects and buying some tokens and so on have to talk and think more. Not about only the business idea, which is for sure very important, business idea, business development and so on, but also they have to think more and trying to understand more from the people side. Like, are they really believe? Are they really true with me about the idea, not about the business? Because it's very easy to trick people with the numbers, to make a beautiful presentation with the big numbers. Because if people trying to get investments, they know what to show to investor. They know how to make him interested and showing, oh, you will get profit like a 50% in 1 month. Investors say, oh, big profit. But investors have not to look at that. I think they have to forget about that. They have to just try to feel the project. If investor feels the project and feel it's right and like it, that's a way to make a decision. I think so.
Wow, you already earn my respect. Really, it's really thoughtful.
Yeah, because it's a little bit about the dreaming. You know, Elon Musk. You know Elon Musk, yeah. You know, somebody think he's a bad businessman. Somebody tells he's a good businessman. I'm not talking about he's bad or good. You know, the main thing I really like in him, that he never stopped dreaming.
Yeah.
And so that's a really person which you meet, and you can give him all your money because he's dreaming so wide, and you understand that he's feeling his ideas so deeply that if somebody can realize them, his ideas, is only him. That's the thing. And so that's also like a key point for maybe for investors on feeling, like understanding if the person is really dreaming about this idea? Is the person really dreaming about making this idea be real and true? That's the thing. I'm also driven a lot, you know. Like that's maybe sometimes my problem, but only this way we can create something really big and something really cool.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. The story is very inspiring.
Thank you.
I think he or you just both are believer in your dreams, and yeah, that's nice. That's nice. So the next question is about the bear market. We're still in the bear market right now, so most investors are terrified about that. And do you have any suggestions or advice for the normal investors and also the blockchain companies?
Oh, really? I'm not the best guy to ask advice from, you know, because
But you've been through.
yeah, I'm for sure. You should understand that really we're from really a little different type of the business. We're not so from the blockchain, not from crypto. We are from the blockchain, from technology, but not from the crypto. And so we are not so financial guy. And for sure, I'm not able to give good advices into this market. But as I see right now, yes, the market is going down, but from one side. But from another side, we already saw it in past many times, not so deeply maybe, but and for sure, one of the main advice is to risk only as much money as you can easily lose. It's okay for any investment. Yes, do not never invest your last money never buy something on your last money in your pocket, for sure, because no matter how good the project is, yes, no matter how good team is, a lot of other things can happen which is not under the control of project or the team. So really you can find some good project with a really very good founder which is dreaming, very good team which is very good working together, and with a very good idea which is not on the market and have big possibilities. But tomorrow something can happen, like I don't know, like government will make some law regulations unexpectedly, or some super big company like Google or Facebook will present you the same thing, and the idea will not be already so cool. And so a lot of different uncontrolled things, somebody can become ill, you know, like anything can happen. And for sure never risk your money which you are afraid to lose. It's the main thing, because you if you invest only the money which you are ready to lose, you can be calm. You can you're not able not to be impulsive, you know, and make some impulsive decision when you see the red market and running, oh, I have to sell, forget, and so on, you know, like, and panic and so on. And for sure these panic decisions from people who invest in their last money make big money for big guys who have a lot of crypto, who is buying, you know, that a lot of big wallets like whales wallets, yes, they increase the volume of Ethereum and Bitcoins on their accounts. Last year they increased it a lot. So that means that they are making money on the people who are selling in panic. And for sure never invest your last money in the pocket. It's a main thing. And right now it's some changes going on in the industry. I think so. I think it's the process which will make it more clear the old blockchain industry. You see, like a security token offerings. That means that it's already some law things. So it's all more possibilities for future investors to get their money in case of some fraud and in case of scam. So it's already the step forward to make the market more clear, more transparent, and it's good. So for sure maybe right now it's not the best time and for investing into something, but maybe there is some projects which are worth that. I don't know, but first thing you have to understand, never invest your last money. Just the money you can just invest and forget. if you have this amount of money, you can try to find maybe something right now also. Yeah, but as I told you, I'm not the super financial guy to make a super financial deep advices, because it's a little bit not the thing I'm working with.
But as a manager of the blockchain company, how the blockchain company doing right now? So should I like save money for the next boom market, or should I hire more people in the bear market?
Really, it's according to how much crypto you have. Yes, if you was able to sell the crypto this after you made a campaign, you're in safe place. So you don't have any crypto, you'll never lose. So maybe it's time to buy. Yes, but if you was sitting on crypto and sell it only now, or not selling it right now, and you are running of funds, maybe you have to think about what to do, because the worst thing is when company is running out of the money. But for sure, if the blockchain company is in a situation where they have a lot of crypto and have a lack of fiat currency to pay the salaries and so on, and they are running out of the money, I think they have to be very careful about their costs and maybe make it less, because for sure there is a lot of things in a blockchain industry which really not worth spending money. For example, blockchain conferences. 99% of blockchain conferences is just losing of money and time. We have visited, I don't remember how many, a lot of blockchain conferences during last year, and only few of them was really worth it. The one the final one was in Japan, in Tokyo. Yeah, it was very good one. It's a blockchain. I don't remember the name. Yeah, but it was very good. But yeah, it's just a few conferences I can tell that it was really useful and good, because most of them are just losing the time and the money with the super high prices. You know, like
exactly.
It's for example, we was taking a part in a few non-blockchain conferences, just a common IT conference like a Slush in Tokyo, or in Tech in Asia in Singapore. And they cost us, usually it cost us 10-15 times less money than the same blockchain conference. But
the quality is higher.
Quality is much higher. The Slush in Tokyo was very good. Tech in Asia in Singapore was very good for us, because it was just a regular tech IT conference, and it was very successful for us, and for sure for any blockchain projects, my advice also is to look to the blockchain as a technology. Forget about looking at it as like a cryptocurrency and so on, because if you will move this way, you will spend a lot of money and time paying some different fake advisors, fake conferences, fake community managers, and so on and so on. So it's a big problem on the market, and so for sure it's best if you will be focused more on the product, more on the real world, like a regular IT businesses and companies, and this will help a lot to the blockchain projects to look into this as just a technology, which it is.
So before we jump into the last round of quick questions and quick answers, we will do the last round of air jobs. So 我们现在进行最后一轮的空投，让我们小哥看一下最后一个关键词。好，我们最后的一个关键词是我们今天的嘉宾的名字。是怎么去抽我们的这个怎么去抽我们今天的这个奖呢？是去巴比特资讯的公众账号里面输入我们今天的关键词，就可以参与今天的抽奖了。我们今天的抽奖总共有3轮，第一，我们可以连续放一下这个3个关键词，然后轮流看一下。如果刚刚没有去抽的小伙伴，可以现在都可以去抽了，每人总共是3次机会，总共加起来是有9次机会，千万不要错过，因为今天我们送出了 了10万的 DSCP 啊，希望大家都中奖。Okay, let's come back to the last round of quick questions. Are you ready for that?
Okay.
Okay, the first question is that if I give you a ticket right now, where would you go and who would you like to see?
Very interesting. I think it will be very cool to go back into like 20 years ago maybe and to meet the Steve Jobs, Apple, yeah, because I think his ideas and how he was dreaming was so big and was so cool that just having a few minutes with him will be great. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. So next question, name 5 cryptocurrencies in your just popping into your mind.
EOS, Ripple, Ethereum, Cardano, Ether, Bitcoin.
So next question, when do you believe the bull market will come?
It's for the last opinion I heard from one of our friends was the March. That on the March the market might go up.
Wow, so good.
But it's not an advice.
So just as a piece of a suggestion.
It's
maybe?
an opinion of some of the friend which we really trust a lot. Yeah.
Okay. So next question. So what's the craziest thing you have been done in the past of your life?
The craziest thing. Starting my first real business and leading the company where I was working. So I was working in a company with a stable salary, all was fine. And one day I decided to leave it and to open my my own company. It was a very crazy move, and for sure I will do. If I will have a ticket back, I will do the same. But it was crazy, yeah. Because next more than few months, I had no money to buy the fuel for my car. You know, I have really no money because everything. I was thinking that doing my own business will be much more easy than it really was. Yeah.
So what's the difference between starting your own business and also working?
Stability. For sure. I was working in a company for 3 years, and I got a stable salary every month in the same dates. I was paying for renting flat. I got a car, so everything was stable, you know. Like, and you are in a safe zone doing something very regular things. And next day you leave and you think, okay, it's so cool, and you do not understand that this stability. You have to forget about it forever. If you're starting your own business, stability is not the thing you will be common to, because you can have very successful business, very stable business, but it's not stable. You will not be able to be stable inside yourself all the time, because when you when you're working on somebody, you have a weekends. You have a working day from like 10 till 7, so everything is very planned and understandable. But when you have your own business, you have no holidays, you have no vacations, you are working from the morning till the night, all the day, night, morning, and that's it. So you can, and you always have a feeling about your project. You always have to think about it, and so you're nervous about it. So this time when you're like stable and just have no problems, forget about that, because you will always force some new challenges in your business and so on. And so for sure for me this next 3 months was very crazy, because after the 3 stable years with a stable money, income and so on, in some moment I understood that, oh, it's much more harder, but money which I had in my pocket finished. And I was running out of money. I was not able to get the fuel into my car. I was very limited to everything, and it was very hard and very stressful, because I was thinking if I made the right decision, because it's so now I have nothing, you know. Yeah. But years passed, and I understood for sure maybe it was crazy, but it was a proper decision.
So yeah, if starting your own business is so insecure, will you start? How and why do you decide to come out of your comfort zone?
You know, I think it's people are born in a different type of, you know, the mind. So when I was in a kindergarten, very small kid, like 3 or 4 years, it's my parents told that to me. The teacher in a kindergarten told this guy will be the how it's called, director, CEO. Yeah, he will be CEO. He will be the main guy in a company when he will grow up. Because already in 3 years I was already trying to manage people, trying to do something. You know, it's very funny, but it's so already there in this age. So I think that just people. I know a lot of very successful employees who working in some companies, are getting a good results with the big salaries, and they're working like an employees all their life, and it's okay for them. It's just, I think it's just like a type of the mind. Yes, for me, I was always thinking about creating something myself. I was always thinking about having something mine and built by me, and creating something by me and created, and to be proud of that. That's what I'm thinking, and that's, I think it's nothing is good and bad, you know. No, so being employee is not bad, and opening your own business is not bad. It's just different, and I think that people have to be ready and have to be born with a special mind to be or employee or business owner.
So everybody has its own way, and as long as it's
yeah, for sure everybody can change their own way, and it's and that's good. But for sure, I think that some of the directions we move in our life, we are born in them. You know, like we're already born with some directions for the future, like who we can possibly be in the future.
So okay, and let's jump to the next question. So is there any like little story behind the Disciplina? Why it's called Disciplina? It's French or
no? It's very easy. Nothing super special, but really in an old Latin language, Latin, word Disciplina called was meaning the science, knowledge, and so on. And so it's just an old Latin word. And when we was choosing the name for a project, we were just looking for different something old words. And really, in the Latin-speaking countries right now, in Spain and so on, they have the same meaning of this word now. So like 2,000 years ago, the knowledge and science was called disciplina in Rome, in old Rome, and so on. Yeah, when the old Latin language. Yeah, but
so it's related to education stuff.
Yeah, it's just a meaning of knowledge and science, but in another old language.
Okay, the last question. What's your wish for the upcoming 2009?
Wish?
Wish, yeah.
For whom?
For you and both for the company.
For me, for my company, I really became a father a month ago. So it's my first baby. So for sure, for me, it's the best wish that my baby will grow up the way we want, and he will be happy. And according to my project and according to my team, I wish them to realize all the ideas we have in time, and to make our project really big next year, and to sign all the partnerships we are signing right now, and to have them successfully working, to start changing the world step by step, and so on. So because it's very important to understand that nothing in the world changes very fast. Really, all the super cool ideas and all the super big projects was born long time, and was born in efforts to overcome some problems and so on. It was built step by step, small step up, and so on. So don't be in a rush, just do step by step work to build our cool project as it's designed to.
So hope the Disciplina will realize all of the roadmap milestones in the roadmap.
Yeah.
So
we'll do it.
Yeah. So that's the end of our ABC live streaming channel. So